Some houses feel quiet in a comforting way. Others feel quiet in a way that makes your skin crawl, like the walls are listening and the air itself is holding its breath. This story begins with a house like that. From the outside, it looked ordinary, just another old home sitting on a calm street, but people who lived nearby said something always felt off. Lights flickered when no one was home, doors were found unlocked after being securely shut. And at night, neighbors reported hearing sounds that didn't make sense for an empty building. For years, these stories were brushed off as imagination, rumors, or local legends. That was before the murder. The house had a long history, even before the crime that made it infamous. It was built decades ago, back when homes were made to last generations, not just lifetimes. Several families lived there over the years, but none stayed very long. Some left suddenly, without explanation. Others quietly sold the house at a loss, just to get away. When asked why, they all gave similar answers: constant unease, unexplained noises, and the feeling of being watched, especially at night. At first, these stories never went beyond whispers. No one thought they would be connected to something truly horrifying. The murder happened on a night that seemed completely normal. The victim was someone who knew the house well, someone who had been inside those walls many times before. There were no signs of forced entry, no struggle that neighbors noticed. And yet, by morning, the house had become the center of a crime scene that would shock the entire community. Police arrived expecting a routine investigation, but almost immediately, things didn't add up. Evidence pointed in multiple directions, timelines conflicted, and witnesses described strange details they couldn't fully explain. As investigators searched the house, they noticed things that felt wrong. Objects were moved without any logical reason. Rooms felt colder than others, even with the heating on. Some officers later admitted they felt uncomfortable being inside, though none of them could explain why. It wasn't fear exactly, it was more like an intense pressure, as if the house itself carried weight. Still, law enforcement focused on facts, emotions and feelings had no place in an investigation. Or at least, that's what they believed. The case became even more disturbing when witnesses began to speak. A neighbor reported seeing lights turning on and off late at night, even after the house was supposedly empty. Another claimed to hear footsteps pacing upstairs, slow and deliberate, long after the victim was gone. At first, police dismissed these statements as stress-related or exaggerated by fear. But when multiple people described the same experiences without knowing each other, it became harder to ignore. What truly unsettled investigators was the timeline. Certain evidence suggested movement inside the house after the estimated time of death. Not enough to clearly indicate another person, but enough to raise uncomfortable questions. Doors were found open that should have been closed. Items were displaced in ways that didn't match any suspect's story. It was as if something had continued to exist inside the house after everything was supposed to be over. The media quickly caught onto the strange details. Headlines shifted from a tragic murder to whispers of a haunted house. Paranormal investigators, psychics, and thrill seekers began showing up, hoping to experience something unexplained. Law enforcement wasn't pleased, but they couldn't stop the rumors from spreading. The house gained a reputation, and with it, the case became harder to solve. Every strange detail was now filtered through the lens of the supernatural, making it difficult to separate fact from fear. Despite the attention, no clear suspect ever fully emerged. There were theories, of course. Some believed the crime was personal, committed by someone the victim trusted. Others thought it was a carefully planned act meant to look confusing. And then there were those who believed the house itself played a role, that something about the environment influenced behavior, pushed someone over the edge, or even masked the truth. While that idea sounds extreme, psychologists have long studied how spaces can affect the human mind. Constant stress, isolation, and fear can distort perception and decision-making in powerful ways. Years passed, but the house never lost its reputation. New owners tried to renovate it, hoping fresh paint and new floors would erase the past. None of them stayed long. They reported the same things the previous families had: strange noises, unsettling dreams, and the constant sense that they were not alone. Some even claimed to hear whispers at night, though no one could ever understand what was being said. Whether these experiences were paranormal or psychological didn't matter. The effect was the same: people left. The murder case remains officially unsolved. Files sit in storage, reviewed occasionally but never close. Every so often, a new documentary, podcast, or online thread brings attention back to the house. Each time, people debate the same question: Was the haunting real, or did fear shape the story? Skeptics argue that stress, suggestion, and media influence created a shared illusion. Believers point to the consistency of experiences and the unanswered questions left behind. What makes this case truly chilling isn't just the murder itself, it's the uncertainty. Humans are wired to seek closure, to understand why terrible things happen, but this story refuses to give clear answers. It exists in the space between logic and fear, where facts end and imagination begins. And maybe that's why it still unsettles people today. The house still stands, quiet, empty, watching. Some say nothing is wrong with it anymore, that it's just an old building with a tragic history. Others say the silence is the most disturbing part, that whatever was there is simply waiting. Whether you believe in the paranormal or not, one thing is certain. Some places carry memories so heavy, they never truly let go. If this story made you think, disturbed you, or left you questioning what's real, let me know your thoughts. And if you enjoy deep dives into mysterious cases like this, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below with what story you want to hear next.